Okay. And all right, so hi guys. We decided to record a video so that you can actually meet Vincent and see what he looks like. So just to quickly go over what I had said before in the live for anybody who hasn't seen the live. Vincent Byrne is a business coach, and he and I have worked together in the past. We met about 7 or 8 years ago at a tweet up. So Vincent, would you like to give us a little bit of information about you and what you do, and how you can help us?
Well, thank you for the invite. It's great to have real people to talk to at this time when we're all confined. So I coach business owners. So it's I suppose there are people who would be business coaches who essentially focus on the business and what you can do in terms of strategy and all that sort of stuff. What I tend to do is work with the business owner, meet them where they're at, and help them with their stuff, whether it be personal or business, because the two always come in. You can never leave the personal side at home. You can never leave the business side in the business. The two are always crossing over. So that's what I do. It's sometimes you'll find me in strategy sessions, working out business plans with people. Other times you'll find me talking people down off a window ledge because something hasn't gone right at home or with a particular business issue. And so the combination of the two is what gives me the variety. And I'm fascinated. I mean, when I started to get involved in this, I used to be a kind of a hands-on business consultant. So I went in and I did business turnaround, interim CEO kind of stuff, because my background is as an accountant. And then it must be 15 years ago. It was during a kind of a personal crisis. I started to do counseling. And it was a time when, after a couple of sessions, I started to sort of ask myself, why do I not know this stuff? I mean, it was fairly basic things that I learned about, whether it be about having boundaries, whether it be about, dealing with people and how everyone brings their stuff with them, and how to protect yourself and all this kind of stuff. And I found that it crossed over so easily into the business side of things, because where I'd been helping companies fixing issues for companies, I found that the owners would then get back into the same pattern of behaviors again. And of course, I didn't even notice this at the time. But when I was doing the counseling, I started to see, oh my God, that guy did that today. And I'd have a conversation with the counselor about it. So it was fascinating. And it was after that I started to look into coaching. Initially, the coaching that I looked at didn't really give me what I want, because I found that it was kind of quite formulaic. But I kind of developed my own style. And in latter years, I've found the work of Nancy Klein, and she talks about creating a thinking environment for people rather than coaching them. So we all have the capacity to fix ourselves and to help ourselves, provided we're given the right environment to do it.
Yeah, and you have
that's what I use.
Yeah, you have a very, very holistic approach to your coaching, and you use different types of techniques. Just give us a very quick synopsis of the kind of techniques that you would bring into play when you are helping somebody from a holistic point of view.
Well, I mean, it starts, and it's one of the reasons why I searched and wasn't happy with the as I say, the style of some of the other forms of coaching. They just didn't work with me, because as part of the journey that I was on, after I had my counseling work, I then started looking at energy therapies, and I trained in a tool called EFT, which is tapping. and I've used that extensively and trained in it extensively. And while I don't call myself an EFT practitioner, typically if someone is having issues that they need help with, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of problems with sleep. So EFT can be quite effective with that in terms of bringing up the issues and also helping us as we're lying there trying to go to sleep to use that tool. So teaching business owners how to do that is good. And that's why the people that I tend to work with, I tend to work mostly with people who have that openness to the woo-woo and the alternative side of things, because I think all of that comes into play. It's not just about marketing and finance and all that sort of stuff.
Although they are quite important, but you know, looking after their well-being, without the person there is no business. So you know, that's one of the
I mean, all of those sides of things, like the marketing, the strategy, the finance, that can all be learned. You know, or you can find people who can help you with it. Whereas understanding yourself and getting techniques, well, it's less techniques, it's more having an understanding of how you operate and then doing things to support that. So we know that we shouldn't eat, you know, food that isn't good for us, but, you know, and we know what's good and what's bad, but we don't necessarily know what behaviors are good for us.
Correct.
So simple things like meditation, I would advocate meditation in whatever that looks like for you. It could be a guided thing, or it could just be following your breath. But even taking the time a couple of times in the day just to slow down and breathe can be really helpful too.
Deborah mentioned that in her Twitter hour when we featured her in our Twitter hour as well. I think breathing is really, really important. So just to quickly wrap this up, because we don't want to be going on far too long, and I'm conscious of, you know, time as well, because, you know, you've decided to do this for me. Thank you. Can you give us an idea, just a quick synopsis of what kind of information you're going to share with us tomorrow?
Well, I suppose the theme that I came up with was basically readying ourselves for getting back to when the lockdown is over. So what we can do from now to prepare ourselves and prepare our business for when they say, okay, the switch is back on and you're allowed to go out and engage with people. So there's a number of areas. It's what can we do personally, and not just then, not waiting until then, but starting now. And also what can we do in relation to our businesses? Because the big thing about this is none of us have been through it before, so we don't actually know what it's going to look like. And trying to predict what it's going to look like is a bit like trying to predict the weather. So so we cover a number of questions around that, and it's pretty basic stuff. I'm sure a lot of it has been shared in different ways before, but I've just pulled it together, and hopefully it's useful presented in the way that I've done it. And then we'll do a follow-up session on Thursday, and you can give me your impression, and if people have questions, I can ask them in this kind of live situation as well.
Excellent. Listen, thank you very much, Vincent, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And looking forward to tomorrow. I'm already breathing heavily, but hang on, I'll go off and do some EFT, which is one of
breathe.
Breathe, yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the thing, we forget.
We do, don't we? We just completely forget, don't we? Okay, so thank you very much, Vincent. I really, really appreciate your time, and looking forward to tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. And I will also put down underneath this video all of Vincent's contact information, so if you want to talk to him directly, you can. So thanks again, Vincent.
Great stuff.